Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and dabbing, maybe some microphone dabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Payton.
I hit the right button this time. Last week I hit the wrong one. It was the.
Oh, I thought you were playing the X-rated one, the one with the unit.
Oh no, it's not that edgy. We're only a minute into the stream. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, I also want to point out that, and I don't know if he's going to be here today or not, but shout out to Canada Graphs. Apparently he's still in the hospital, and I'm not sure what's going on, but like we hope you get out soon because that's got to be miserable. So shout out to him. He may show up today in the chat. I'm pretty sure he's bored sitting. Like the majority of people that I know, like when I have family and friends that are in the hospital, it's just being bored. If you're there being treated for something, because you're sitting in that room, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to tell? I'll quickly tell my story of. So when remember when I had that hernia and I had to get the hernia fixed.
Mm-hmm. It was like what 3 years ago? Wait, that was longer than that.
No, that was like 6.
Okay, it was a while back.
It was about 6. Oh, about 5.5. It was about halfway through 2018. But like, I was just sleeping constantly, but I couldn't get up because I had the hernia thing. I was like,
yeah,
like I had to like do that. But I remember they had to keep coming in and giving me like stick like a needle into like I don't think it was like to test like if it was an infection or something like that or something like that. But anyway, it's the most embarrassing thing, a hernia surgery, because to be graphic, everyone sees your twig and berries. So it's like, and then constantly for about a 12-hour period, all these young nurses are coming in and have to see my twig and berries.
As you're laying there like, oh, fuck.
Check
like,
the stitches and everything, because
yeah.
I'm not wearing underwear. It's just like you're wearing a hospital gown and stuff like that.
Right.
Anyway, that's the story. There you go, Eric.
Oh, okay.
I thought you might want to do like you can do like a recreation when you want to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll get to that right away.
I don't know. I guess it might be too graphic to show the potential Twitch outfit that I DM'd you.
Oh, yeah. No,
it might get the stream demonetized. Not the front half, but the back half.
It's already been demonetized. It's already happened. Give a shout out to some of our Team Airrick members of the house. It says Sam here. This is, are you interviewing a Supergirl actress? No. I don't think that the title shouldn't have said anything about an interview. Shout out to South Texas Shark and Cody, both Team Airrick members. Thank you so much for being here, and everybody else for hanging out with us. We have a few things to talk about today. It's going to be a very quick show, so if you guys are strapped in, get yourself something to eat, snacks and treats, as we would say. All right, we're going to kick this off talking about let's see, what's the first thing we're going to talk about? Let's do something fun. It's totally not going to get people battling in the comments here. So Robert Kirkman said that Omni-Man would easily beat Superman in a fight. Now,
why do you have IGN blocked?
Anything that advertises on Twitter gets blocked.
Okay.
So if they had an ad, I blocked it.
But then they still show up in your relevant people. Oh, because they were the source. Sorry, I didn't realize that was the source.
Yeah. No. If like I have this thing on Twitter that I hate ads. So if an ad pops up, I block it. So if it runs an ad, they get blocked. It doesn't matter if it's Disney or Marvel. They would also catch a block on Twitter. Anyway, but Robert Kirkman says that Omni-Man would easily beat Superman in a fight. And this is one of those things where I want to remind people that, first of all, these aren't real people. Like Omni-Man and Superman aren't real. But this is one of those fan things that always makes me laugh because people are always arguing like the finer details of it. It literally just comes down to whoever's writing the story. That's it. Like,
I could write a story where I don't know. I could write a story where Eric doesn't get beaten up by Ben, but like that's just against the truth. Like that just
well, no,
always
see,
happens.
no, that's not true. I would
mean?
always win in a fight against Ben in every story, in
The
every
power of
universe.
twerk. The power of twerk.
Would you say that
Eric.
characters like Batman win because of the writers? There's a lot of
Batman.
Batman.
Oh yeah, Batman's got. I think isn't like Black. Oh Jesus, I was about to say that. Batman.
You were saying Black Man. I caught you.
Batman. Well, I guess he wears black, but anyway, Batman. Isn't he like? I think I saw a list. Isn't he like the character with the most plot protection like ever? Yeah. Like he always has plot protection. Where it's a stupid thing. I hate the thing where it's like if Batman had enough reach to search time or something. It's like, yeah, if I had a gun, he'd be dead. Like R.I.P. the dream, Batman. You're shot in the mouth. Like laters. Like anyway.
They say that Imagine Dragons concert.
I don't know. I could see it in my own thing. I'm like, what is going on? But it's just like
it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of cool actually. Yeah, because it's like in the blurred section. So South Texas Shark. Is Paige having a rave in the background?
Not intentional.
Yeah. So I always hear this other thing about like Homelander. Look, Homelander is great as Homelander, but he would get bodied by just about every other Superman. Like I can't imagine Homelander because he almost got beat by like 3 other like random people in his own universe. I don't know. Omni-Man is fucking amazing, but Superman has had so much like power scaling over the years. Like it would be really hard to write Omni-Man beating Superman. But Robert Kirkman could write that story. He's a comic book writer. He could totally write it. What I want to know in the chat is who do y'all got? Who's the winner? I'm actually going to do a poll right here. I'm going to do this while we chat about
I know the answer. My answer is oh fuck, what was her name? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, what was her goddamn name? What was Cecile's superhero alias?
Oh gosh, I don't remember now. It was a very like
it was like ripped from another character in the comics. Yeah. Like another character had it. Whatever it was.
Virtue, that's it. Right?
Virtue. Oh god.
Yeah, Fetman Plays got it first. Yeah, Virtue.
What does Fetman Plays win?
Didn't you say you're gonna give like a $50 Amazon gift card to anybody that answers?
Yeah, it's not my fucking stream, so you're the one handing out prizes, man.
Naruto here says, hope you're having a good day. Turned 36 today. 1 year closer to 40. Happy birthday, Naruto. Hope you're having
a what that means. You know what 36 is.
What is it?
The square root.
Oh, well, that's true. That is true.
6. So just pretend you're 6. Actually, don't do that. That could be weird.
That would be weird, definitely.
But half of 36 is 18.
Right.
So half of you can give consent. I think. Is that the way? Depending what state you're in. Anyway,
I don't even know.
Move on, Eric.
Yeah. This is. I don't know what road that's going down. Okay, so let's talk about the part of the main topics today. And Paige, I don't know if you saw this or not, but DC animated film based on the Jurassic League is in the works. James Gunn will produce with Brian Lynch Minions writing the script. It's going to be animated, and I don't think they said whether or not it's going to be a theatrical or a streaming release. And it's obviously going to be an Elseworld story. What are your thoughts on there? Are you a fan of Jurassic League in the comics? Have you read any of these stories?
It's only recent, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is recent. It's within the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being completely honest, I think the fact that we look at the writer of Minions, I mean, this is clearly going to be like the same, like the League of Super Pets sort of thing. Like they're aiming for like 6 to like 12-year-olds. Like that's the target market.
Okay, so you're thinking like it's going to be a PG film. Then
if it's meant to be like some mature animated film, I'd be shocked. It's goddamn Dinosaurs.
Is this signaling that they're going to be merging with Universal so they can do like a Jurassic Park crossover?
What? And Chris Pratt shows up to like time traveling wise.
Yeah, shit. That'd be maybe that's possibly. Could be
I don't know. Like this is like I think. Well, this is the first like Elseworlds thing, I guess, because I highly doubt this is meant to be canon.
Right.
To Superman Legacy. But it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe someone came in with a pitch and just said they just all like I don't know. I know it says James Gunn's producing, but I think that's just because it's under DC Studios. Like I'm assuming Peter Safran would also be a producer. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about it, to be completely honest. I'm more intrigued to see what other Elseworlds films there will be, like ones that actually like aren't.
You
Like,
know, this makes me think about. It makes me think about the Stephen Amell video we watched this past week, where he was talking about like announcements and everything. This is another one where like, why are we even announcing this now? Like, why is this? I know they're not announcing it, but why is it even like coming out in the news at this point? I mean,
yeah, like I don't like if I'm being completely honest, like this just goes straight down to the bottom of like any interest. Like I don't really care about it just because I think it's a bit silly.
So what is the most, like, in terms of interest, what is the least interesting thing in the DCU for you right now, to the stuff that we know is coming out, minus this? Like, just put this on the side. What in the DCU is of least interest to you in terms of all the stuff that's been announced? I can tell you what mine is. I would say probably Creature Commandos for me.
I was gonna say mine's probably either Creature Commandos or Waller.
Yeah.
And I think that's why maybe they're getting them out of the way early. They're not leaving
So
them like
with those two things in mind, where does this fall for you in interest? Is it below or above those?
I mean,
things?
probably because it's gonna be aimed for like 8-year-olds, probably even lower. Like, because at least like those ones will actually, I guess, have like a, and also there's TV shows which I prefer, like story wise and character wise.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I like this kinds of funky stuff or whatever. I just feel, maybe it's just me, but I feel like they need to get their feet adjusted in this new DCU before we start seeing a million other like Elseworlds things. That's just my thoughts. Like,
well, yeah,
I know this isn't going to really affect the larger landscape, but I just feel like we have the Batman universe, the Matt Reeves Batman universe, and we have like the Joker stuff, and then we have the DCU stuff. I just feel like, again, we like, I don't know. I want them to sort of like get the main ship steered in the right direction before we start seeing these really weird, crazy like side projects. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is just like a kid's thing, and they're gonna literally advertise it as like a Pixar DreamWorks type film. Maybe that's the case.
Well, I don't know if it's meant to be like a mature, like, I don't know. I'd be very. I mean, the guy writing Minions writing it, like, and I think
Minions,
wrote
Minions also leans into like more. It's got like adult humor in a little bit. Like, it's not totally.
Yeah, but it's still marketed for like 6-year-olds.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
But like, I think he wrote Secret Life of Pets and another, at least kids movie, and it might have been animated. I can't remember the other one. I know Secret Life of Pets he also wrote. Yeah, I can't remember. But Brian Lynch is a guy on Twitter. I see him all the time. I'm pretty sure that's the guy on Twitter that I see all the time. He's always talking about like the insights to movies and productions and stuff like that.
So my question is, in general, what do you think about the whole dinosaurs being superheroes thing? Like, do you? It's
just a silly like what if there was dinosaurs and they were the Justice League? Like, it's just like one of those things. Like, after like, when did it come out? Was it yesterday? Like, I guess like by tomorrow, no one's talking about this until there's a trailer,
right?
Because they're not. Are they going to cast voice actors for dinosaurs? Are they just gonna? I guess you have to. They're not just gonna. Do they talk?
They talk in the comics. Yeah, they talk in the comics. They have the story.
Talking dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean,
does that mean that, like, you're gonna get? Does that mean you're gonna get like David? Are they doing that thing with like? I guess if it's not canon, then it wouldn't be. But I was gonna say, is David?
Oh, you mean like the actors from the live action doing the voice acting stuff or whatever? I mean, they could, but I would think so. I think they're hoping maybe this might be a Spider-Verse thing for them. Like, maybe it's a universe of characters they could spin off or whatever. You don't think so,
Eric? Man,
you sound like you're not very confident in this film. Like,
no,
concept.
It was just a movie that I don't care about because I probably might watch it, but I probably won't go to the theater and watch it. I'm not going to pay $20 to go watch dinosaurs, like those type of dinosaurs. Even with the last Jurassic World, I didn't do it because the trailer, unless the trailer comes out and it looks awesome or something like that. But
I mean, what if the dinosaurs are like biting and ripping things off with their mouths and everything?
Well, as I said, well, then that takes away from a kids movie and just turns it into like, I guess, like Invincible or some shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. As I said, like, it could be fine, but as I said, it's based off the writer and everything. I'd assume it's just aimed for kids. So there might be like fighting and stuff like that, but it's also playful fighting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So here's the
like, okay, whatever. Like when I saw it yesterday.
So we had it's the end of the first quarter of the year. So a lot of investors meetings are happening right now with a lot of the companies. And David Zaslav, both of our next topics basically come from those meetings, which is why on Twitter you saw a lot of people talking about the Coyote versus Acme and the Supergirl news. We'll talk about Supergirl in a second. First thing I want to touch on is the Coyote versus Acme thing. So I don't think as of today, I didn't see any official announcement about what they did with it, but we did see that Warner Brothers took $115 million on a tax write-down on projects almost exclusively on the animated division. I would say if I were a betting man, I would bet that Coyote versus Acme was in that 100.
Well, yeah, for 115 million, because that was like 45, 50 million. So,
yeah.
And then, I mean, was that animated specifically 150?
Yeah, said the report said mostly animated. So I'm assuming.
And then there was that Scooby-Doo movie, wasn't there? Or was that last year? Was that the year before?
That was last year. That was last year.
Okay.
The Scooby-Doo one was last year.
So yeah, and there's probably like little things like even like animated pilots and things like that they were going to put on like Cartoon Network or something that they just scrapped, or even just deleted episodes or whatever it is, like things like that. So it all adds up like 1 million there, 4 million there, 3 million there. And there might have been like even like some straight to DVD stuff like that they scrapped. Like there might have been another like Tomorrowverse movie that they were planning and just chucked it away.
Would that also include stuff that was canceled after it started production, like things that were in like pre-production, like script writing and stuff like that?
Well, there'd have to be money towards it. Like there'd have to be like some physical thing, whether it's a script or something that I think you'd have to do that. Like something where there was actually some sort of like budget put towards it that now is a write-off.
Yeah.
That you will not do anything with.
So I'm looking here through the notes or whatever from Hollywood Reporter. It doesn't seem like there's any specific details about it. But also it pointed out that because of this, I'm trying to find the numbers here. I had it saved in my bookmarks. Now it's disappeared. David Zaslav, they reported how much money, I guess, has been saved by HBO Max or their streaming service. What was the number? Why did the tweet get deleted? I think it got deleted. I probably should have bookmarked it. But it says that HBO Max was the first streaming service to actually report like a viable profits. And I think it was like, I want to say 130 million, somewhere around there for streaming. But does it surprise you that they're the first ones to actually turn a profit?
Well, no, because Max is making like no shows, but then people are still subscribing. Because they're very smart in regards to the investor side of things, because they can have people subscribing for shows, but they're just subscribing for HBO shows. But but the production for HBO shows doesn't go under the production budget for Max, and that like the streaming service of Max. So they can spend $1 bajillion on HBO shows that people watch on Max and subscribe to Max for. But that
aren't coming out of the price of the streaming service. Like
so, it's like a restaurant making food and selling it, but they're getting the food for free, or it's under another company and it's not, that profits.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, or HBO Max reminds me of what the CW was, because the CW was kind of a offloading site for like content for Warner Brothers and CBS, and it seems like Max is now filling that void where things are being made for HBO, but they're also being offloaded to Max. So it's a very similar situation in my mind. I'm thinking of it that way because
I don't know if they're like that, but it's like same sort of like in regards to like
Well, the CW didn't actually make anything. That's the thing is Max is not actually making anything. But the issue also is that, and we talked about this previously, is there's not a lot on Max, to be honest, compared to what was on there before. I mean, they've probably, I would say, more than 50% of their library is gone.
Well, if you're looking for brand new stuff, like if you're still looking, if you're going to watch like explore things you haven't watched before, Max is still probably the best streaming service for that because it's got so much in it. Like it's like when you include just like 80s, 90s, 2000, then you go to Turner Classic and stuff like that. It's probably still the best one.
But the DC section is vacant. There's so much stuff missing from the DC section. It's like very hodgepodge the way it's put together.
Yeah.
Newer DC stuff is on other places. A lot of the animated stuff is in other places. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me. So if you go back to what David Zaslav said a couple years ago, He talked about like trying to make a consolidated space for like fandoms and genres and all of that. And he's done the complete opposite, in my opinion. He has split up stuff. Now, financially, I think it does make sense to offload some things that probably aren't performing, but at the same time, it goes away from the idea of everything being in one place, which is what a streaming service should represent. If you're not going to do that, then just offload everything. That's my thoughts. Get rid of Max altogether and just offload everything. There's no point in having it if you're not going to have it all. Yeah. Which is one of the issues that Disney had. Remember when Disney Plus first came out and they didn't have access to like the Netflix shows, didn't have access to the Hulu shows, and it kind of made things a little weird. They didn't have access to some of the Spider-Man stuff. It just felt like it was weird that it wasn't all in one place, and now they've kind of corrected that, and everything is sort of in one place now for the most part. It feels like with Max, a lot of the stuff that is supposed to be consolidated is not consolidated. So I don't know. You're right. Like a lot of the older stuff is there.
I completely understand that. It might be frustrating as like if you really want to go on there, but I understand from a business side why it bounces around, because Netflix will take it and then they'll make money off that, and much more money than they would if they just kept it on Max. Because how many people are specifically subscribing to go watch maybe this one thing, like, or this handful of things? I don't know if they're just there to watch DC stuff. There would be some, but you might make much more just offloading it to some of these movies going to Netflix for a month, or going to Paramount Plus for a month, or Peacock for a month. I think it's actually, I don't think Paramount Plus takes it. I think like Peacock, I think, is the one that does it a lot, and then of course Netflix.
What Peacock does? What were you saying?
Like hires to put it on their streaming service. They'll take Justice League, they'll take Man of Steel, they'll take Wonder Woman, whatever it is, and they'll put it there for a month or two or whatever it is, and they, Warner Brothers get the money for that, and they'd make more money off that. So I understand that, but I mean,
but it's not good for the consumer. That's the problem.
It's not good for like consistency. I don't think it really matters overall. Like the long thing, it's going to bring down the system, but it's like consistency wise, where one day this Warner Brothers owned thing is there and it should just stay there, and all of a sudden it's offloaded. But then I know for a fact they're very even inconsistent in regards to what they choose, because I think Harry Potter always stays on Max, but then it'll go to like Peacock and Netflix at the same time, but then they won't do that with the DC thing. So I don't know if there's a weird thing there where it has to leave if they want to put it on somewhere else or something like that. I'm not sure.
I don't know, because I feel like we talked about this last week as well, the whole thing about selling Warner Brothers as a brand, selling the whole company or whatever. I feel like whoever inherits this mess of like Max, HBO, and all this other stuff is going to have to figure this all out, because I can't imagine coming into, because to be fair here, the only reason David Zaslav is trying to make them profitable is because I do believe he wants to sell it. So whoever comes into this is going to have to figure out like all of these different little things he did to save money for them to then make it a viable company. Because where do you go from here? You know what I mean? You've canceled so much stuff. You're not spending any money on projects. You've taken everything off of Max. Now it's on HBO. I don't know how you continue to make content as a company doing that.
Well, no, so I think the system that's there, like the infrastructure, is fine. I think it's actually very good because they get to double dip. They get to double dip with HBO and HBO Max, because believe it or not, there's people that are subscribed to both. And I think that mainly comes to the fact that they subscribe to HBO Max, so they get the ease of a streaming service. And also there's other stuff that's on Max that's not on HBO. But then through like their, like whether it's internet provider or like cable provider or whatever it is, they get HBO included, but that money still goes to Warner Brothers, though like the person might not pay for it. It goes through the company, that they still get money from the HBO thing. The thing is that Warner Brothers over the past, I'd say like really it's probably like 30 years, but like even if you want to, like outside of like probably like the COVID times, Jesus Christ, I look like I'm fucking in a Skrillex video at the moment. In the past like 20 to 25 years, Warner Brothers has really like grounded themselves as like the king of TV. And when you really rip a lot of that out through not providing like consistent stuff on streaming, which you're trying to make as like the new TV, though they're still providing a lot to like network, that's, you know, a bit of a question mark. It's like, well, hold on, okay, well, this was like, you were like one of the foundations for modern day TV, but now that's not a focus at all. And it's either you're just trying to like remain stagnant with it, like you just keep the same out there, or you're ripping stuff out as you go along. So like things like Sony and Obviously, like Universal and everything, like they're doing their own productions and everything like that, and they're sort of overcoming that. Like Warner Brothers still has like some very popular stuff on TV, but then again, a lot of the, like they don't own a network. They're like their network that they had some sort of ownership in was the CW, and now that's not there anymore for them.
Right.
They've minor. They've what 25%, no 12.5%. They have so like very very minor.
I don't even know if the CW has any WB stuff coming out on it anymore. Like I didn't see anything announced from.
Well, if All American and stuff continue, that's
like new stuff. I mean, like new IPs. I think it's all the same.
Well, I don't know. I think technically they have like some because they're CW Productions and Warner Brothers has a share in the CW, so they're technically they have 12.5% of those. Well, actually, they probably have what 6.75% because I think if it's a co-production, so it's 50-50. So they have like minor shares in some of those productions where maybe those shows could go to HBO Max, for example, if they wanted to after they aired, if they're new. But in regards to new stuff, like no, it's just the Superman, Lois, and the 2 All American shows. Because I think Walker is Universal.
Yes, yeah. It's either is it Universal? Might be something else, but
yeah, Universal because Comcast.
Yeah,
they're the ones.
But I personally think like looking at what everything they've gotten rid of on their service as somebody that used it, there's not a lot left on Max for me as a person paying for their service. They've gotten rid of a lot of the competition shows that I liked. There was like a fashion series that I really liked. There was a pottery series that I liked. There was a couple other things that I really liked on there. They got rid of all those. They got rid of Raised by Wolves, which is another sci-fi series that I liked. They've pretty much gotten rid of everything that I would have paid for on their service. Because let's be fair here, I think the safe bets, because we've talked about this, something like Harry Potter, something like Game of Thrones, those I think are safe bets for the network. So they've pretty much boiled everything down to just the semi. I don't know. I hate saying safe bet because it sounds like it's like the lazy thing. I guess it is the lazy thing. It's the easy thing to choose because they're all popular things and there's a higher percentage chance that it's going to be worth the investment. It's almost like all the stuff that they were building from the ground up has been taken away. I'm trying to see all the stuff here. HBO Max, what was canceled? Because I want to see all the stuff that was on there. There's so much. They canceled so many things. Where's it at? Oh, well, we can say Titans. Titans got canceled and Doom Patrol, both of those. Pennyworth, I guess, because it went over to HBO Max or whatever, that was canceled. Game Theory was canceled. Oh, Avenue 5, that was a really good series. That was also canceled. That's another one I really liked. Just so many things that I was watching on there that are gone now. And they're not even on there. It's not like they canceled them. They canceled them and they removed them from the service. So like you can't even watch the old seasons on HBO Max. So even if I wanted to go back and watch it, I can't. Yeah. That's probably the most egregious thing. But
that's the thing I've talked about in regards to the streaming model and stuff. Like it opens up the door to so much content, whether it is new or just ease of access and stuff like that. But they can take it away as easy as that.
Yeah.
Like I'm still so intrigued to see what the next. Well, I'd say like 5, but more specifically, maybe like 2 or 3 years is in regards to the streaming thing because people can only tolerate so much, and it's just going to get to the point. And I saw the stat out or the thing where it's like people are now just going to old shows that they know that the network's going to keep, or that the streaming service is going to keep on their thing. So people are just watching Friends again, or they're going to Netflix and just watching Suits again, or they're going to Peacock and just watching The Office over and over again because they're not going to take those shows off.
Yeah, so I also think that's a byproduct of not a lot coming out because of the writer's strike. We don't have a lot of content.
Well, I think it's also a thing where people just like, I mean, to be like a lot of stuff, just you look at it and go, is it just like this? It's like let's be honest, like there's a lot of shows which are just like this show, but with this twist. Like Abbott Elementary is just The Office, but it's in a school.
Yeah.
But people can still watch it because it's an easy show to watch because it's like 20-minute episodes or something.
Yeah, I want to point this out.
When you get to like hour-long dramas and stuff, where it's like, well, is this just another True Detective, or is this just another Fargo or something?
Apple TV is a really good service for shows. They've got a lot of great shows on Apple TV, but Apple has fuck me money. You know what I mean? Like they can just throw it away.
Produce it, and they go through a lot of different like holes and stuff in regards to this production company provides money, this production company provides money, and Apple provides money, but like it's also very, very like they're very smart in regards to how they split it off. Like,
and they could also get independent people
shows on there.
Yeah, they could get independent companies making stuff for Apple TV because it's like a distribution thing. So Cody here with the $5 super chat says Warner Brothers selling the CW was a terrible idea and it's showing. So Paigey, before you, because I know you want to say something about this, before you say this, I think that your comments just a second ago about like going back and watching these older shows, I think people also love longer seasons. I think people love those 20, 23 episode seasons. And I think getting rid of that is going to prove to be a marketing era for a lot of like networks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like the CW going to Nexstar is just a byproduct of the time. Like it was Warner Brothers was in the middle of a sale. Like AT&T was selling it to Discovery. So like people forget that the rumor, I think it was just prior to COVID. I think it might have been like 2018, 2019, was that Warner Brothers wanted to take complete control because Universal wasn't getting, like Warner Brothers got way more out of the CW than the Universal did in regards to their 50-50 ownership. Like it was like, I think it was like 70 to 75% of the shows on there were Warner Brothers shows. Yeah. And so it was like, there was no real picking up the slack. So Universal, and they already had their network. They have CBS. They don't need the CW. Warner Brothers, it was their only network they had any affiliation to in regards to owning it or having any sort of ownership over it. So Warner Brothers was going to take complete control of it. And it probably maybe would have turned back into the WB. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Or they might have just kept it the CW because that branding was already there. But they were the ones, and then they just didn't do it because I think they're probably just waiting to see how things went. And also that stuff takes time, like dealing with how much Universal wants to be bought out for, all their shares and everything like that. Sorry, it's Paramount. Sorry, CBS is Paramount. Universal is Peacock. Sorry, I keep mixing them up.
Well, they're about to merge their streaming services anyway. So
well, yeah, they're going to be one anyway. Sorry, yeah. So Paramount is CBS, but yeah, CBS. Like that whole thing there, like, because what's the company called? It's CBS. What's the company called that they went up before they were Paramount?
Columbia?
No, they just changed their company name to Paramount because that was the studio they used. But what was the company?
The streaming thing, All Access, CBS All Access.
Yeah, but it wasn't just CBS, wasn't it? Viacom CBS. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't sure what you were asking.
I knew it was like something. That's why I kept saying Comcast because I knew it was like com was in there. But yeah. So they provided much more of the show. So Warner Brothers was going to buy it out, and they probably should have because it would have been their network, and then they wouldn't be like, I guess, looking to merge to try and get involved in the network thing.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, and so. Warner Brothers probably should have, but that's if you don't, jump at the opportunity, then things fade away.
Crazy Cat Lady with a $5 super chat. I finished with Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love the Iroh actor, I guess, and I do love Coyote versus Acme. We're in a movie. Reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Well, I don't think we're ever going to get to see that movie. So I'm sorry to say that that's probably going to disappear into the void, just like Batgirl and the Scooby-Doo movie, all that stuff. Oh wow.
Was I the one that lagged, or was that you?
No, it was the StreamYard. It just did it for all. The whole screen lagged.
I know really mine was fine. I think it was on your end. I thought you.
No. Like StreamYard completely went black on me. Like it was weird.
Mine stayed normal.
I could still hear the music and everything. It was just completely.
It was you. You froze for me. I was like,
it was StreamYard. Stop trying to blame me. Stop trying to blame.
Eric ate Taco Bell. Baja Blast, literally.
The Baja Blast. Aren't they making a Baja Blast like ice cream or something?
No, it wasn't it like Baja Blast like toothpaste or something.
Toothpaste. Yeah. Maybe. All right, let's see the results of this poll here. Let's see. So who would win, Superman or Omni-Man? 79% said Superman, 20% said Omni-Man. Do you think that's an accurate representation of how the fight would go, Paigey?
Well, I think it's just a reflection of logic and hopefully sanity.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some other stuff that came out from the investors meeting, and that is the Supergirl news. So David Zaslav saw the script and said it was great, and I was making fun of it, obviously, because I think David Zaslav his ego's overinflated. Paige made a point on social media and said that it's because it's investors meeting and he's trying to hype them up. But my thing would be,
like, I was gonna say in the investor meeting, he also went, we have Godzilla and Kong or whatever. Like, he's got what's the accent he's got? What's David Zaslav's accent? Like, where is he from in America? Is he from Boston or New York or something like that?
Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I think he's from Boston, actually.
Because I've heard him talk in an interview, and then on that voice call, he sounded completely different. He sounded like he was using his proper voice because he was reading off a script and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he is. Well, no, he was born in New York, but I think he went to school in Boston. So
yeah, he's got like a New York Boston sort of like fusion accent or something like that. But anyway, it's really fucking annoying to listen to be completely honest. But anyway, he was saying like, what's the new Godzilla movie? Godzilla X.
Godzilla, the New Empire. It's called the New Empire.
Whatever that movie is called. He's like, it's the follow-on from the hit movie from 2021. I was like, the movie that went straight to HBO Max and made like no money in the box office.
Yeah, that movie.
I was like, you can't really hype that up.
My question is, are these investors stupid? Because look, I understand. Like, there's a game that's played. We know there's a game that's played. The investors have to know there's a game that's played. Why are we all doing this? Be serious here. Like, I mean, it's just like him saying a script is great doesn't mean anything with Supergirl. It doesn't mean anything because he said it about everything. It's all great shit.
Well, yeah, you never go. Like, the thing is, he just ignored the stuff that like maybe there was not a ridiculous amount of like promise about, or like it was quickly mentioned like in passing, like, and we also have this and coming out, and that's pretty much it. Like, they might have metrics on how a movie's going to perform in the box office, and they go, we won't dig ourselves a hole here and say it's going to perform well just in case it comes out and it's a piece of ass, you know?
Yeah.
But like they emphasized Barbie and Wonka and what was the other movie they emphasized? There was another movie they emphasized that did decent last year for Warner Brothers. I can't remember what it was. No, that's Universal. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, anyway, but I'm not surprised as an investors meeting. Like, people go in there expecting like to hear this like a massive amount. I think there was no news. It was just like quotes, like the Supergirl script was done. Everyone was like, "That's news." I'm like, was it not done when they announced the writer? From memory, that article when they announced the writer said that she'd written the script. Because Gunn was saying that like what she's written is amazing. And back then, I'm like, if it wasn't done then, at least it was a first draft, like a rough first draft, and they polished it up. And you think by now it'd be done, especially that they cast Millie Alcock. But yeah, I don't know why that was sort of like, I guess any news is news.
Did you also see this quote? Stranger says he also said Warner Brothers is like the purest studio when it comes to filmmaking.
Wasn't it storytelling?
It was storytelling, yes.
It wasn't filmmaking because that's very broad, but storytelling. I think it's more like in regards to like
what a fucking stupid comment. Like, it's just dumb.
To be honest, I don't 100% disagree. I think in regards to original stories, I think Warner Brothers makes the best. But in regards to like saying it's pure as everyone else is like dilated and like the devil is like,
I feel like this is all just him sort of like prepping them to be sold. That's all it feels like.
The sale thing. And even when they originally bought it, like the whole thing in regards to the restructuring and stuff like that, it almost felt like they were pretty much trying to like, it's almost like when people will go to a garage sale and go, oh, let me buy this PlayStation game and try and turn a profit on eBay, even if it takes 2 months to sell it. If I make $50 on it, I'm $50 up from when I bought it. So like that's clearly the intention there. The worry about that is just like what gets fucked, like from that whole process, because that happens when a merger happens. Things get fucked. Like we even saw it with like, and whether it's in a positive or negative way in regards to your intentions, but plans get changed. I mean, we saw it with DC. The change was what Hamad had all this stuff planned out, and then the takeover happens. Zaslav was like, "Oh, I want to go in a different direction," and now we are where we are now, where Gunn's sort of doing this reboot. What happens if it sells in 2 to 3 years? Gunn's got 3 movies he may be out by that point, and a bunch maybe production. Then production gets held off because like, oh, hold on, we have to wait till this sale happens.
And whoever the new people are, they might not be patient. They might say we want to see turn around now.
Then also Superman Legacy can underperform. All of a sudden, the stocks, like the value goes down. Well, hold on, we thought the Superman movie was going to be this big new hit.
I have a feeling David Zaslav wants to lock in the sale before Superman.
He'll be trying to lock the sale in before Superman Legacy comes out. It's not going to be one where they're going to use that movie to.
Oh my God! I just thought about this. The reason why he doesn't care much about what James Gunn is doing is because he's not even going to be there.
No, and that's why he keeps talking about 10 years. He's not talking about the next 2 or 3 years. He keeps saying 10 years.
Oh my God! It's just
hitting
me now. He's not going to be there. Like the fact that everything got delayed till 2025 is actually good for him because he's like, I don't have to deal with anything. I can sell this company and
you
get
probably
out.
Don't see anything else until lucky end of 2025, most likely beginning of 2026. So he has 2 years pretty much to get the sale done if he wants to sell it. And the only thing that could be an issue is if Superman Legacy doesn't perform, but even then he might be trying to get it over the mark by that point, where when Superman Legacy comes out, it doesn't say Warner Brothers Discovery as the head company, it's Warner Brothers whatever, or something Warner, whatever it is.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Whenever I see someone keep talking about like 10 years in the future, even if he was saying like 5 or 6, I'm like, how can we focus on the next 2 or 3? Because like that's probably the most important part.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. That's why I didn't even think about that, but it makes total sense.
My biggest curiosity is who it gets sold to, because I just do not see it being allowed for Universal to take over Warner Brothers after the Disney Fox thing and the clear regret on the legal side of things there. Like I don't see Universal. It could happen. It could easily happen because there's already ties there. As I said, they already distribute internationally for Warner Brothers, but I don't see it happening to like logically, just based off what happened previously. But I just remember back in the day, who owned it? What Coke owned? I think Coke owned Paramount.
Yeah. Back
in the day, in like the 80s or something like that, and they had to keep putting Coke advertisements in all the Paramount movies that were coming. What big company what if Elon Musk bought Warner Brothers through Tesla and everything, and every car that's driven in a Warner Brothers movie is a Tesla, a Cybertruck, Barbie 2 when it's a pink Cybertruck.
And X is the only social media platform anybody uses in the movie.
Yeah, like they never refer to. I'm not tweeting. I'm Xing. They never.
Let me pay with my X here. It's just everything's an advertisement for X.
Hold on, my Skylink has moved. Let me move my Skylink over here.
Musk would be like the
Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah.
My Neuralink.
I won't be that. Yeah, exactly. I'm going up in space. I'm going to Mars and in the Elon Musk Mars community or whatever.
All that stuff. I agree, Mal. For once, all the DC like that DC studio setup, announcing all those projects, probably hiring things, and then all that the Margot Robbie one, I think that probably would have happened, but the Tom Cruise one going to Warner Brothers was very surprising because he's been doing Universal and Paramount movies back and forth for a while. I think his last Warner Brothers movie was it Age of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat, whichever way, wherever you live in the world, whatever.
I think so, yeah.
And that was early 2010, so over 10 years ago.
But the other thing is, it's very lucrative. A lot of these actors that are getting signed on now, they're doing so in contracts that will probably pay out whether they keep them or not.
Oh, yeah, a lot of agents do that. They make sure that whether it's the full amount or at least there's a set amount, hey, if we don't make this movie, we still get this amount of money regardless. And that's the same with different areas.
Going back to Supergirl, do you believe that Supergirl's director has been chosen? Because there's a lot of rumors out now that the director has probably already been chosen. They just haven't announced it yet. Do you think that's true, or you think something like that would have leaked already? Because it's pretty big news.
It depends whether it's chosen or there's 2 people they're still talking to, but nothing where other people who brought in. It could be just a James Gunn going, I've got this person's phone number and we're chatting, or they're coming into the office. There's nothing where it's going through all these different people, what happens with the casting and stuff like that when things get to the final stage and then contracts are being drawn up and more people are being brought into things. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to be a female director. I don't know. I know there's was it Kate Herron, the Loki showrunner or something like that. But I don't know. They might. I don't know. I don't know who they'll go for. Depends. Like some people get close, then they just move on. They choose someone else.
I also wanted to point out that I believe Penguin finished filming this week, right? The Penguin show's wrapped filming now.
This week or the end of last week.
Yeah. Are you excited for that series or no?
I'll watch it, but like I have no real hype going into it. The thing that it unfortunately leaked, but Batman's going to be in there. So we know he's in the finale. Like I didn't even know they didn't really try and hide it. Like it's like multiple clear videos of him just walking to the set.
Yeah, I mean
like,
there was actual
trying to cover up. He's got a hoodie up, but you can clearly tell it's Robert Pattinson. He's just walking straight into the set. But I'm looking like I'm not. Like, to be honest, there's nothing really I'm looking forward to in regards. Like, I'm interested in Superman Lois's final season, but it's so far away. We're not probably getting to October, maybe late September. So, in regards to anything, like, I think the most recent thing I'm looking forward. I mean, I'm looking forward to Dune. I mean, that comes out this week, but like, I don't know about any other movies. Like, I mean, Deadpool looks fun, but I'm also not counting down the days. Like, when it comes, it comes.
Right.
Double entendre.
We have a super chat here from Staggervore, 49 super chat. I just came on. Did I read right that Warner Brothers is relinquishing its stake of the CW? I didn't see that at all today. I looked for it just now. I don't see it anywhere.
I mean, maybe Staggerville came in just after we finished talking about like Warner Brothers should have bought the CW when they were planning on. And then someone maybe just wrote in the chat something out of context.
Maybe.
Or with that
I didn't see anything about that. I really don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if it's even beneficial for them to continue to be like a small fraction of the CW's ownership at this point. I mean, I feel like it's such an insignificant amount of ownership that why? Because I still don't think the CW is going to be a thing as it is in the next couple of years if they don't do something. These stale shows that they're getting to run aren't working for them, which is why All American
it wouldn't surprise me in like once again in that period of like 3, 4, 5 years where this next star sells the CW and they try and turn a profit on their money. They might try and build it up where it's a consistent thing, but the thing is that like CW is not going to get more viewers. They're just going to bleed viewers from this point. So it's like what you just try and set it up where it's a fight. They have a model to make it financially beneficial. But the thing is, if anyone's going to take it over, let's say it is Warner Brothers or it is Paramount or something like that they probably wouldn't because they've they have CBS. CBS is their network. They don't need it. I mean, they would just they'd probably go against that model. They just do their own thing. If they bought it out, they just go, okay, well, thanks for that example. We don't care. We're going to do our own thing. So I don't know. It definitely won't go away. I don't think they'd kill the network just because there'd still be someone there that would want to use it. But it's just who. And I just don't see Nexstar being there for that long. And in control of it.
All right,
at least in the current way that they're randomly assigning programming and stuff like that. They're trying too hard to make it variety, and hardly any network is this big variety thing. Like most networks, if not pretty much all of them, are pretty much here's 7 procedural shows during the week, and then here's an NFL game. Like that's pretty much like how their content works for the most part.
That's true. So we have one minor topic left, and then we're going to take some questions before we end the stream today. The last thing I want to talk about is this. We've talked about balloon budgets, like with the Joker too, right? So we have the sequel for Gladiator, which, by the way, I hate using this phrase because I think it's kind of reductive. But do people really want this? Do people really want a sequel to Gladiator? I feel like nobody was clamoring for Gladiator.
Well, it just feels like it's. I mean, it's like what. I think it was 2000, 2001.
It was 2000, so it was 24 years ago.
Yeah, so it's going to be like a quarter of a century away from it. I guess if you go logically, like, oh, well, his son aged up and now he's that age. So if you want to go like literally by that, but I don't know. Like, I love the first Gladiator. So, I mean, it's got some of that same source. Like, I doubt to be as good. Like, the Gladiator is like really good. So I'd be surprised if this movie is as good as the first one.
I think the movie, even though we had a lot of great actors in it, obviously Russell Crowe was a big part of the success.
Well, and also spoiler, like he died. I mean, I'm sorry if you haven't seen Gladiator, but the character dies. I mean, so he's not going to come back.
The original budget for this sequel was 165 million. That was the budget they gave them, which is already massive. It's already a massive budget. But this movie was going to have a lot of practical sets. They were going to use a lot of like real people. It wasn't going to be a lot of VFX as far as I know. Well, now it's ballooned to 310 million.
Yeah, and to be fair, like a lot of these movies are ballooning. Everyone's wondering like why these. It's because of the strikes. They had to shut down.
Yep.
So like a bunch of these movies weren't like day one. They were like day 20, and then had to shut down for X amount of days or whatever it is. And then pretty much just be on wait. And then by that point, actors just didn't turn up on the first day. Like some did. I think Deadpool, like they came pretty much the second or third day after the strike ended and started filming again. But then some, it takes a while to get all the crew back, and then you have to wait for weather. And like you're meant to be filming in the summer, all of a sudden now you're filming in the winter. So, and that's probably, I don't know what this movie would have been like, but what was the movie? It was Joker. I read it because you know how we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They were filming in the summer, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the writer strike happened. They just stopped. And then wait, was it Joker? Or was it another? I know Joker's thing ballooned out, but it was like they were making a summer movie essentially. And then all of a sudden, and they were filming in a place where it's summer and then you get winter, like you get snow. And then they've had to completely change how they film the movie. And they've had to do a lot of studio things. And they have to rent the studio space that originally was not intended for these scenes. And then they had to like design them up to make
Where
it look
was
like an
this movie
indoor
being filmed, though, I wonder?
It was in Europe, I'm pretty sure. Like maybe like where did the first one? Like maybe like somewhere like some of that France. I don't know. I don't know whether I highly doubt they filmed in Italy. And I might have a look and see where they filmed.
I don't think at this amount, 310 million before advertising, I don't think there's a way this movie makes money. I just don't see it. This movie at 310 million plus advertising means that it has to come just south of 1 billion before it ever sees any money.
Yeah. So they filmed in Morocco, so North Africa. And when the writer's strike stopped, they had to film for another month and a half. So once the writer's strike stopped and they started filming again, they filmed for another 6 weeks. And they started filming in so they only filmed for about a month before the strike happened. So they were literally halfway through filming. So they probably got caught in the worst position. They were literally halfway through, probably had sets built in a foreign country like Morocco. Like, you know, like how many movies film in Morocco?
Right.
And then they had to I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it's like up to that much, but I guess they almost like had to redo the movie essentially. So like, yeah. And I think, like we heard that thing where like each day the strike went on, like the studio was losing like X amount per production or something like that. Or like on average,
and we're seeing what that looks like here with stuff like this, where the budget is almost doubled.
And the thing is, you can't blame like Ridley Scott and stuff like that. Like that's just a byproduct of the strikes.
Well, I think it's a little unfortunate because not that I was like super happy about this IP, but it feels like that movie has a battle they can't win in terms of being able to make money. We had a comment here from Jasmine that I wanted to cover. I don't know if she's still here or not, but Pride Video has good shows too. Can you both review seasons of Reacher? YouTube is very finicky about the kind of content you can do within your channel. Even if somebody has like 1 million subscribers, if they break their algorithm and try to review something so completely different from what they do, YouTube doesn't know what to do with it. And it's going to see significantly less eyes. So as much as I would love to do reviews for Reacher, I'm already like doing 3 live streams a week, plus clips of that, plus my second channel. For me to like viably do like a separate review of something else that's completely opposite of what I normally talk about, it would require me to see a way for YouTube to like properly promote it. And basically that's not going to happen with stuff like that. If Reacher were a superhero property, I could see giving it a shot, but it's really not. It's like a spy secret agent type thing, I think. And that's just not really something that would work for my channel. I will say I've heard it's really good. I haven't seen any of it really yet. What about you? Have you watched any of Reacher?
No, I've heard that it's like heard it's decent, but I haven't watched it. But I was just having a look about like,
yeah.
No, you go on.
No, I was gonna say he's really jacked in the show. Like he's super big, like in this third season.
Yeah, and he says he's all natural. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. someone asked about like Deadpool's budget. Well, Deadpool 2's budget was 110 million, and like that wasn't a very like big movie. Like it had some decent sized things, but it was also like, you know, like what, mid range for a superhero movie. While this Deadpool and Wolverine movie looks like it's going all out. If Gladiators went from 160 to 310, so pretty much doubling because they got cut halfway through, I would say Deadpool's budget is from like what, 150 to 200 million, probably high towards 200 million. I think Deadpool's probably cracked 300, maybe even going towards 400. They're probably at Justice League level.
Do you think studios are not going to announce those numbers to public? Like
some won't. Like some just get through it because like it wouldn't surprise me too much if Gladiators came out because the fact they were filming foreign, so just that stuff like tax wise comes through, so that just can.
But anything filming in the US that doesn't have to disclose that,
or the UK, US or the UK, because they have those grounded foundations. Like there is Disney settled in the UK and stuff like that, so they can get through. They have like a bit of a bypass through that. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll say that.
Gary, we got 2 super chats from Gary. I do appreciate the super chats. We're just gonna kind of. These aren't as bad as some of the other ones. Do y'all want kids? I already have 2 kids. They're called cats. I have Aegon and Nairobi, and they're super expensive. So,
so now you're flexing.
Yeah, they're super expensive kids. I have to buy all the best things.
Wow, flexing.
I spoiled the fuck out of the cat. So, and Paigey has a dog. So I think
hold on.
Maybe it's a cow.
Cal, come here. Come here. No, don't roll on his back. Get up. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Is he not going to make an appearance?
He'll make an appearance. He's just been.
He's so big now. Oh my God. He's such a huge dog.
Oh.
How old is Cal now?
6, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's probably like, okay, I've made my appearance. Put me down.
Doesn't like being lifted up.
No.
Hey, you don't like that? Come on, put me
down. Gary says, "Do you think I should have kids?" Sure. Why not? Why not, Gary? If you want to put them through college and all that stuff, go for it. Thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. All right, so that is kind of where we're going to wrap up the stream today. It's a shorter stream. I have some stuff I have to do with work, and so it's causing me to rush out pretty much as soon as I'm done. However, we'll be live on Monday night, and anybody that's watching this that has ever been on one of these shows before, I need you guys to reach out to me on social media because of the fact that we are going to start doing more of a call-in type show on Thursdays, and it's going to be like it's actually, I hate to say this because it's going to get the video struck or whatever. It's going to be an open bar since people can come in and out or whatever on Thursday.
You're going to say another term.
Yeah. But yeah, so reach out to me on social media. I want to start a group chat with anybody that's interested who may want to have the option to jump in. Just send me a message on Twitter and say, hey, I want to be in the group chat. Because you don't have to show up every week, but the link will always be there for the streams. If you want to.
Link will always be there. Yeah.
And yes, we'll be able to have people calling in. It's going to be quite.
No, it's calling in, not videoing in.
No, there'll be no videoing. There'll be no videoing of any kind.
Eric's already experienced penis flash on screen.
Because you can. I thought about this. You can do calls on Twitter now. Like you can make calls. So what I can do is I can have people on Twitter. I can add them in to jump on a call, and that way I can just remove them if we're not getting any penis or boobs up on the screen. It's not happening.
Well, hold on. We didn't agree on boobs.
Well, so Cameron says thoughts on the Otis casting on Superman.
Canceling.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of like the Otis character, so I don't really care who plays him as long as they're good in the role. I know there's been some controversy about it, but I don't care. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's whatever. I highly doubt the roles. Isn't he just going to be like the goof on Lex Luthor's squad?
Yeah. So let me show you guys in case you didn't know, but it's Terrence. I think it's
Terrence Howard? Oh.
No, Terrence Rosemore, I think, is the actor who's playing the character of Otis in Superman Legacy. Anyway, I don't really have a big, strong opinion about this. There's a lot of these characters. So I just want to put this out there. Stop being mad about characters that, and I hate to say this, that most people don't even care about. Like, stop being mad about it. Like, seriously, Otis is no one's favorite character. If you say these your favorite character, you're completely capping.
But what are people mad about?
Because the guy that they cast is a black guy, Terrence Rosemore, and Otis in the original movies was a white guy. So now they're mad about this, and I'm just like, stop being mad. Like, Otis is no one's favorite character. Just stop acting mad about something. It's really fucking stupid.
That's
like, it's just not. It's not worth it to get mad about. Terrence Rosemore is also really good and stuff that I've seen him in. So
what about Milo and Otis?
Remember what happened to Otis on Superman and Lois?
He didn't get fucking killed by Bizarro.
Well, no, he almost did, and then I think he brought him back as a creature or something. Wasn't that what happened? Something stupid like that. I don't know. Nobody cared because it's Otis. Wasn't he on Supergirl too? Wasn't there an Otis on Supergirl played like a bumbling idiot?
Yeah, and you had what's that actress? What's that actress's name? Like Rima or what's it? Not Reba, but what's the Roma? What's her name? Oh, God, I can't remember her name. But she played whoever she played. Rona Mitra, that's her name. Rona Mitra.
The fact that we are even having to struggle with this shows just how important, like
that's the actress's name. She played.
I know, but
Macy Graves. Yeah.
My point is that Otis can be played by anyone as long as they do a good job playing like a henchman character. I don't think it really matters. But people are getting mad about it, like somebody cast their favorite character with an actor they didn't like. It's just so stupid. It's just dumb. So dumb. Yeah. So yeah, he is alive. That's what I was saying. I thought that was like a fake out.
But they didn't they do like a cliffhanger where they made it.
They did, right? Yeah, it was a fake out. It was a fake out. Yeah, 100%. So anyway, we're gonna wrap that up here. Like, I just feel like people getting mad about stuff like that is so fucking, I don't know. It's weird. But I'll see you guys on Monday night. And again, if anybody wants to reach out to you,
are you ready to do the announcement?
What's the announcement?
You might want to get ready to end the stream.
Okay, well, here we go. Okay.
So on Monday, Eric will be competing with Ben in a game of Limp Bizkit.
Nope, we're out. Closing.